Hi,
Hi, Angela.
Georgia. How are
How are you?
you? Good to see you.
Good to see you too. How are you?
I'm good. I'm based in Brazil, in South America.
Oh, fantastic. That's what I was going to ask you. So, Brazil,
Yes,
whereabout?
São Paulo. Have you been to Brazil? Do you know São
I
Paulo?
want to. I
Yeah.
really, really want to. Oh, that's
Where are you?
fantastic.
Where are you based?
I am based in the not so not so sunny Cambridge in the UK.
But
Yes.
Cambridge is lovely too.
It is a lovely place. I'm not complaining. It's very nice and peaceful, close to London, so it's very beautiful. But it's raining, so we cannot compare to you. Amazing. Daniela, thank you so much for your help as well. Because with the link, I was thinking, did I miss this? I probably missed this, so thank you very much for sending it as well.
No worries, no worries. All under control. Georgia, I have a question. How do I pronounce your last name? I was like, I don't want to get it wrong.
No problem. And I apologize in advance.
No
So
worries.
it is Papamichailidou. Papamichailidou.
Papamilha
Ilídu.
Ilido.
You're a natural.
Papamilha Ilido. Okay.
Excellent.
CH is like this
Yes.
is originally from what
From Grace.
Greece. Yeah, that's what I
Yes.
thought. But anyway, I just wanted to double check. Okay.
Have you ever been?
To Greece, no, it's on my list.
Oh, you should. You should definitely.
It's on my list.
Amazing. So, how many people do we have?
From what I heard, there were 40 who kind of registered, but we don't know how many will turn up. What I know is there are people already willing to join us.
Excellent.
So
Lovely.
there are two people who'd like to join us already, which is good.
Wow. Let
Okay,
me.
would you like to check on a couple of things before you go? Let me see if you have any powers for whatever you need.
Perfect.
Maybe,
Can I share my
shall,
screen? I can share my
shall I?
screen.
Yes, I'm going to make you a co-host. Is that okay?
Oh, yes, please. Thank you.
So then I might be good. Right. Mm,
I feel like Suleiman, one of the people waiting in the room, must be
you
one of my
know.
old students.
Okay.
Wow, no pressure at all.
No worries.
Lovely. So let's see.
I loved your title. I thought it was, wow, this is so interesting.
Thank you. I hope that I will make you proud today.
Ah,
I don't know if you have it too. Whenever I present, I always have this level of stress because I want to make the people who invite me proud that they did so, like that they would
mhm.
say, "Oh yes, that was a good decision. It was a good choice."
No, I'm sure the participants will love it. Georgia, is that okay with the bio data that I shared with you? That's the one that I think you sent with the abstract, and I thought was, yeah, that's great.
Yes, perfect,
So,
perfect, perfect. Thank you so,
okay.
so much. So let me see. No, I don't want to do that. I want to. Sorry, I'm just checking here as well what option would be best for. Why am I moving? Ah, yes, there you go. That's why. Okay, got it. Excellent. The presentation is ready. And we're just waiting. Lovely.
Wonderful.
Excellent. Have you had a busy day today?
I'm having a busy day because what happened was we had an issue with the head office to get the link of Zoom and with the code and what have you. So it was a bit of a stressful morning, but we all sorted.
Oh my
Ah,
God.
yeah, but everything is fine. Thank you for
Oh,
asking.
okay. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, John and Louise and the whole team, I have no words. I don't think that I've ever seen a team so beautifully coordinated and dedicated. They're,
Ah, thank you.
yes, they are incredible.
Okay, so I'm going to let Mariana Hilda go to join us because she's also a member of the committee. Okay.
Excellent.
She's based in Argentina. You'll see it today is South America here.
I love it. Absolutely love it. I kid you not, you know what? People that students of my school. Hello, Mariana.
Hello,
How are
Hi,
you?
how
Mariana.
are you?
Hello.
How are you, Georgia?
I'm good, my dear. Are you okay?
Everything okay? I wrote you, Daniela, just asking if you have the background because I don't have it.
I'm trying to find it. I don't know where just 1 second. Give me a couple of, give me a minute. Let me
Yeah.
see if I can find the background. Yeah. Mm,
I have, I can't find it on, I think that I have it. Not sure, but yes.
you have it?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're faster than me.
I think I have one. It's a little bit different from yours, but that's the only one I have. Is everything ready? Do you need anything? Anything?
Now I can breathe because in the morning I panicked a little bit because of the
What
code.
happened?
No, it was my mistake. I got mixed up with the time zone and I kind of, didn't read properly the email that I received that I had to contact until 5 p.m. UK time zone. And I was like, okay, 5 o'clock. And I thought, okay, this is, I got confused with the Brazilian time zone. And I was like, yeah, I've got plenty of time. And that was yesterday afternoon. And then I realized, hang on a minute, this is not Brazilian 5 p.m. This is UK
Ah,
5 p.m.
yes, it happens.
Ah, yeah, but all sorted. We're all here.
All okay.
We are all here.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I just hope that
I'm trying
people,
to change my background. Just a minute.
okay. I just hope that, everybody who register is being able to get the link or
No, it's not.
okay.
No.
No.
Nope.
It's a good exercise for
A
the
little
next.
bit crazy I am right now. Just wait a minute because I think that I have to change the position of the photo and then
Oh, excuse me.
Not really.
thank God we have time.
Yes, yes, yes. We're all set. All systems go.
Yeah. Now we just need the participants to join us.
Yeah, we just need the participants, nothing else.
Exactly.
You know what? I actually went to a conference with Chris Graham. We went to a conference. Where was it? I don't remember. And it was an online conference. Everybody was silent. And there were 2 or 3 participants. We were
Mhm.
just talking to a black screen. That was it, and then we just kept going. And the thing is that my presentation was very interactive, and I slotted in time for the participants to join and participate. No,
Mhm.
that didn't happen.
Well, if worst case scenario, myself and Mariana will be interacting with you.
Excellent.
Yes,
Excellent.
and we are learning a lot, I'm sure.
No, we'll be absolutely fine, I think.
The problem with when I was just logging in, it asked me to do it by means of my email. I can't type the code and the password to join. I need to enter from the link you sent, Ayatefel sent.
Okay.
I mean, for
I
me,
think that it has to do with some things connected with safety or something like this. Oh,
okay.
my earring.
We- Do we have an AI bot, as far as I can see? AI note taker.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm going to change my glasses because they don't match.
And now we're talking. Yes, yes, yes. I went to a Zoom meeting the other day, and that was the first time that I saw the note taker. So apparently you can add an AI.
Yeah.
Yes, you can. And it's wonderful. We use it here at Cultura Inglesa, and it not only gives us the summary of the meeting, it records the meeting, it gives a kind of opinion in terms of how the meeting went, like if it was an enthusiastic, whether people were enjoying the meeting, is wonderful. You get the whole
Amazing.
data on the meeting. Yeah. Very powerful tool.
I need to look into this.
Yes, it is great. Okay,
Maybe
the AI
we can take
gave
a
up.
photo. What about taking a photo? Do you want?
Okay, right.
1, 2, 3. I'm going to send it to the group.
All right, okay.
Really?
How many people were there?
Oh, let me put you as a co-host, Mariana. I see there are 8 participants, I think.
Okay.
Just 1 second. Let me put you as a co-host. Mike is here. Oslam is here. Let me.
So the LAMSIG gang is here, which is
The
fantastic.
LAMSIG gang is here. Yes. Mariana, where are you? Okay, here you are. Let me put you as a co-host. Okay.
Yeah, I can see.
Two minutes to go.
We are ready.
Yeah, some of my colleagues were supposed to be joining too. Not sure whether they will be able to make it. Hopefully they will. I've been advertising everywhere. Mariana, I'm going to allow Oslan and Mike to join us, okay?
Okay.
Is that okay? Yeah?
We have to take another photo with the coordinators.
Ah, Hi, Mike.
Hi,
Hi,
Mike.
Yoslem.
Hi, Yoslem.
Hi.
Hello.
Feels like a reunion. I haven't seen you guys in ages. So since the conference, Mike, I think I saw you at the conference. Did we meet at the conference this year? I think we did, didn't we?
Did, yeah.
Yes. So it's like a reunion. I love it.
Okay, whenever you're ready. Hi, Aslan.
Hello.
Hi, Yoslem.
Hi, I'm so sorry. I was driving and will be in my home soon in 2 minutes. So I will be switching to my laptop. Hi, Georgia. Nice to see you.
Good to see you too. Please be careful on the road, please.
No, I have arrived. It's just going up. Is everything okay?
Yeah,
Everything.
okay.
We're all
Whenever
set.
you're ready, Georgia, all
Okay.
set.
Great. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Shall
I've
we?
just seen you. Hi, Mike. Hi, Mariana. Daniela.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay. So,
Okay.
is it okay if I just turn off my camera and then we'll be switching back to my laptop soon? I'll be
All
listening to
right.
you meanwhile.
Okay.
Okay.
Georgia, shall we let them in? We have about 10 people in the waiting room.
I hope they're not AI though.
There is an AI too.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm admitting all.
Enjoy your webinar, Georgia.
Thank you.
Hi, Lucy. Hello.
Hi, Lucy.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the IATEFL
Hi.
LAMSIG. Hello. Okay, people are coming. All right, I think we are all here. All right, everyone, welcome to the LAMSIG webinar series. I'm Daniela Yu, and I'm one of the members of the LAMSIG committee, and I'd like to welcome you all to this event. Maybe somebody's got mic. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so this is our first webinar from our series in the second semester, and the theme or the topic will be the quiet influence of ghost management with Georgia Papamichailidou. I think I said it correctly, right, Georgia? Okay, Georgia Papamichailidou is an award-winning international education leader based in the UK with a diverse background in teaching and teacher training, and her work centers on welfare, mental health, and professional development in educational contexts. As a public speaker at national and international conferences, Georgia specializes in practical approaches to teaching and coaching managers to thrive in ELT. She's also trustee and a chair of the digital committee at IATEFL, where she leads the monthly IATEFL Live. And she also shows and oversees the planning, organization, and execution of the annual IATEFL Themes Conference. It's a pleasure to have Georgia with us today, and you can interact with Georgia by using the chat, or whenever she asks you to open your mic, you can also join and contribute to the webinar. All right, Georgia, the floor is yours. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Daniela, and thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. First things first, welcome, everybody. Let's see how many people we have here, because I was wondering how many of you are AI. So please write a hello and where you come from in the chat so that I know that you are not AI. So let's see. While I'm sharing my screen, I'm just waiting for your text. And then, of course, excellent, I can see London. Gustavo, thank you for confirming that you're not a robot, even though that might not be very reassuring. Lovely. So thank you so much for joining us from Thailand, from Greece, from Brazil, from Norwich, migrant neighbors, yes, from Muscat, Oman, from Turkey, from Izmir, Italy. Fantastic. So welcome everybody in this almost Halloween period session. I hope that's not why you have invited me here. Now, today we will be talking about the influence of ghost management for managers and leaders in ELT. Now, of course, you might have understood already that this session is going to be very interactive. So I would like to encourage and invite everyone who is joining us today to participate and share your thoughts as well. We will have a lot of practical activities and activities that you can take home to use with your teams as well. And let's start. Now, what you will notice is that you will notice this part 1. And this is because this session is divided in 3 parts. The first part is the what ghost management is and why it matters. The second part is the connection between ghost management and relational intelligence. And part 3 is all about the practical activities that you can do with your teams in one-to-one meetings, admin meetings, essentially what I'm using with my team to kind of annoy them a little bit as well, but to learn more about them as a team. Now, before we start, every part will start with a reflective question for you. Feel free to answer in the chat box, but as long as you feel comfortable answering as well. Are we ready to start? Let me see all of my AI, sorry, not bots, you're real people. So let's start with, are we ready? Let's see. Fantastic, and let's go. Now, the first question that I have for you is this. In your leadership style today, do you observe first or act first? Now, remember, there is no right or wrong answer or black or white answer. There are no set answers. This is a reflective question for you to understand who you are as a manager as well. So give me your answers in the chat box. Do you observe first or act first? And I will give you a personal example. I think that it depends on the period of time or the situation that we are going through in our teams. For example, in my management and leadership, at the moment, this period, I act first because this is what my team needs. I'm very happy to see that a lot of people have said observe as well. Excellent, it's very nice to observe and very important as well. Now, let's start with the key takeaway. Let's start from the end. When we're talking about ghost management, we're not really talking about the manager who's absent or distant or unavailable. Not at all. A manager who follows the ghost management technique is one that is aware. We're talking about a manager who is following awareness on different layers. And these different layers of awareness has to do with observing, noticing, listening actively. All of these layers of awareness is what we will be exploring later on today as well, more specifically in part 2. But these are the aspects of ghost management. Now, of course, you might be thinking, but why is ghost management important? Now, here's the thing, that when we first become managers, we are told that as a manager, we need to be present. We need to know everything, have our eyes everywhere, and have our fingers on many pies as well. So we need to be present. But here's the problem, that being present doesn't always mean having a positive impact on your team. And this is what we need to consider, that you can stay, for example, in staff room meetings, you can hover around, but again, it doesn't mean that you are having a positive impact on your team. And ghost management is a type of leadership that can help you with that. and we are going to walk through 6 areas where ghost management plays an important role. And these are these important areas. So ghost management can play an important role in psychological safety, in missed signals, empower teams, strategic culture building, leadership growth, and true power. Let's break them down together. So first things first, when we're talking about psychological safety, is how your team feels around you. Are they open enough to talk to you about what concerns them, to give you feedback, to openly come forward and engage with you? What opportunities do you give them? And you can do that by observing and noticing signs of distress or how your team feels. Because if we don't do that, then we fall into the trap of mixed of missed signals. Now, when we as managers miss early warning signs, this is when our teams can feel disconnected or they can lose trust in us. And of course, we might lose the connection that we have with our teams as well. And the skills of ghost management that we will see in a bit will help us identify all of these signals. The next areas that we're going to have a look at is how with these little skills we can empower our teams to take responsibility and ownership of their own initiatives and actions. And we can do that without micromanaging them, and of course, without giving them a lot of assignments or homework, in other terms. And this relates to getting people to think for themselves. As a manager who follows the ghost management techniques that we will see later, your job will be to develop your team and your people. So through these skills and through these reflective practices, you will be able to help your team develop themselves as well. And then the other 2 areas that we're going to have a look at is to encourage everyone in your team to feel like a leader, and also to look at the operational details of their job and how they can develop their job and their role as well. And of course, something that I would like to share with you is that when we're talking about real power in leadership, is not about what you say always, but it is about what you notice. And ghost management is about, as we said, awareness through many different skills. And these are some of the things that I want us to take into consideration. Let's look at these 6 areas that we talked about. Thinking of your teams or a team that you belonged in the past. Let me ask you this question. Which of these 6 do you think your team needs the most right now? Give me your answer in the chat box. And as I said before, it doesn't have to be a team that you're working in now. It can be any team from the past. So, for example, in the past, I used to work in a team where signals of distress were completely missed. And that was, unfortunately, the responsibility of the management team as well. So they were responsible for understanding the team. So I can see your comments: psychological safety, empower teams, lovely, culture building, which is very important as well. One of the things that I will never forget is that culture in the team is created by the conversations people have about you when you are not in the room. And this is the culture you build as a manager as well. Lovely. So I can see your answers. Fantastic. Excellent. Don't forget, for the people joining us now, that this is a very reflective, very practical session. So feel free to write your answers. We are all a team here and there are no right or wrong answers, so feel free to participate. Now, thinking about this, let's look at the skills that can help us with ghost management. And these relate to, as we said before, awareness is the key word here. And how can we develop awareness? What are the different layers of awareness? You can develop awareness of what's happening in your teams by asking good questions, by active listening, observing, reflecting back. So, for example, at the end of the day, or before you leave work, how much time do you spend reflecting of what happened in the team, what happened with incidents during the day? Testing understanding, how well do you understand your teams, and what metrics do you have? Because I can say, yes, of course I understand my team, but how do I know that they understand my team? Have I got any feedback? Do I have any metrics, any surveys that will help me understand my team? And then finally, summarizing is very important because there are a lot of information. There is a lot of information going on every single day. So the key thing is to summarize what happened throughout the day or throughout a busy period. And that's what will help you understand your team better. So these are some of the skills that can help you develop awareness of your teams. Okay, so I have got a task for you. Something that I like doing during staff meetings with my team, but please do not tell them, okay? Promise. Thank you. So during staff meetings, our weekly staff meetings, what I like to do is I like to observe their body language, their energy, and their participation levels. Of course, I don't tell them that I do that. And please promise me you will not do that as well. Now, um, so during these meetings, I ask myself these questions. What shifts did I notice? What happened during the meeting? Was anyone more quiet than usual? What was the energy like? Was there any silent tension between staff members, for example? This is something that I like doing also when I am present during the breaks, for example, in my school. I like observing not only my staff members, but also my students, because I can see what friendships they cultivate, what they do. And this is a very good exercise to train your senses and to notice your team beyond words. So it's not just enough to notice your team by saying, hey, how are you doing? Because, of course, people lie or people don't feel comfortable mentioning things to you. So, thinking about this exercise, I want you to think of a time in a staff meeting when the body language changed or the energy changed. So think about it for a few seconds and tell me, have you ever noticed different shifts in any meetings that you have led or have been to? So let me see your answers. Let me see your answers. Okay. So, lovely. Let's say hello to the people who have joined us. And as we've said, so we are doing different exercises that you can take home with you and you can also do with your teams as well. Now, I'm going to move forward to the next part. There we go. And the second part of ghost management is about the different skills that relate to relational intelligence. So in this part, we're going to look at the connection between relational intelligence and ghost management. So how are these two connected? As always, we're going to start with a reflective question. And let's start with this. Now, what's one thing you wish more people noticed about you at work? You can be honest here. I know that you're all AI, so that's fine. Excellent. So let's have a look at your answers. And I will give you an example of mine. So people in my team know that I'm very observant, but I wish they noticed about me that I'm a fast learner as well. So sometimes when I ask someone from my team to explain a task to me, they feel that they need to explain it and give me an example. I don't need an example. I can understand how this happens. Tom, hello, Tom says that I'm secretly clever. Tom, I don't think that this is a big secret. We know that you're clever. Okay, so let me see your answers. So what's one thing you wish more people noticed about you at work? Gustavo says, for example, I am a problem solver and I like contributing. Gustavo, this is brilliant. And this is a question that some of your staff members might be thinking as well. Like, oh, I wish that my manager observed this about me or noticed this about me. And Fari says that I do things out of kindness quietly and just don't make a fuss about it. Oh, this is brilliant, Fari. Fantastic. Now, this is the question that I want you to work on as a manager and leader as well. The fact that sometimes our staff members need to be seen, they need to be noticed. Not only their contribution and how hard they work, but their skills that they put in their job as well. And in order for us to do that, we can look at relational intelligence. Relational intelligence is how good you are at understanding, navigating, and building relationships with the people around you. And this has got nothing to do with being nice or being social. Not at all. You might be surprised to know that I'm an introvert, but the skills that you can employ in order to have a high sense of relational intelligence is to understand how other people feel and also how you can strengthen your relationship with others. Let's be more specific a little bit. Now, with relational intelligence, we need to look at interpersonal and intrapersonal intelligences. The difference between relational intelligence and emotional intelligence is that with emotional intelligence, you can understand somebody else's feelings. With relational intelligence, you can understand how to build connections and trust, not only by looking at how other people feel, but by looking at their perspective as well. And this is what we're going to have a look at today. There are 4 different layers or lenses of relational intelligence. And this is emotional awareness, social awareness, political awareness, and cultural awareness. Sorry, somebody, I'm going to have to mute you. Thank you. Okay, so moving on, let's talk about emotional awareness. This is, of course, your ability, as we said before, to identify how your team feels. And you can do that not only by observing them and asking them how they're doing, but by asking yourself this question: what impact, spoken or unspoken, do my emotions have on my team? So generally, for example, I am quite positive, energetic, bubbly, etc. But what happens on the days when I am not? So let me ask you this question as well. What impact do your emotions have on your teams? I can see, for example, when I don't bring energy, for example, to my teams, they might sometimes follow my energy or they might lift me up. So let me ask this question to you as well, because this is a very important question that will allow us to understand how emotional awareness can have an impact on our teams. Now, again, for the people who have just joined us, feel free to give us your answers in the chat. And then we can just self-reflect and have a look at how we are doing. So this is the first lens of relational intelligence, how well aware we are of emotional awareness. Carla says, for example, that it's kind of a blind spot for me somehow. That's very interesting, Carla. If you want, please expand. I would love to hear more about this. The second layer of relational intelligence has to do with the social awareness. This is how we demonstrate empathy and how we understand our staff members' emotional state and how we react to it as well. And here comes this question. Now, when we notice somebody's emotional state, without saying a word, how do we respond? So, what are, and that's my question to you, what are the signs that help you identify someone's emotional state? For example, an old colleague of mine used to stay very silent when they were stressed. And that's when I would realize that, okay, there's something going on there. And the way that I would respond is not by asking them only if they were doing okay, but by trying to lift their spirits. So, what are your signs? So, let me see in the chat. Let's see. Okay. Now, I'm just going to give everyone a few seconds to respond before we move on to the third layer. Excellent. Gustavo, for example, mentions a very interesting example. He says that there's a thing my wife does with her fingers when she's overthinking. When she does it, I ask her and we talk. This is brilliant because everybody has a tell. Everybody has got a sign, either by scratching their face or playing with their hair. I usually have, I will tell you this secret, I have got this little thingy-majig here. So when I just fidget with it, it helps me have, think more. So everybody has got something. The important thing is to understand what your team members have. Fari, for example, says, I tidy when I'm overwhelmed. Fari, whenever you're overwhelmed, feel free to come and visit me. I will be more than happy to welcome you to my place. Carla says, I know how positively people are affected when I'm bubbly and happy, but I'm not quite aware of how much they're affected when I'm having a bad day. This is so important, Carla, and thank you so much for sharing. It is absolutely important for us to see how our team is affected. I've only recently started noticing it because one of my team members asked me, I've recently noticed that you're not your usual self. You haven't told us any jokes recently, so what's going on? So I realized, oh, okay, so that is what people perceive. Excellent. So the next thing that we need to look at is political awareness. Don't worry, nothing to do with politics, but there is actually politics at work. And this is what connection and what relationships we see within our teams and within our organizations as well. So, for example, in an academic team, when teachers work together and when we have got what we call, what the internet calls work besties. So, when you have a work bestie, how does that help you navigate your workload? How does that help you understand how people affect each other? And I have got, of course, another question for you. This is the question that you need to ask yourself. Am I aware of how my words and actions are perceived by different stakeholders? And think about the bigger picture as well. Think about how your words and actions are perceived by HR, by senior management, by your team members, by students in your school, by your partners outside the schools. Let me know in the comments as well. While I'm reading your answers too. So I can see Tom, for example, said about the question before, I often look down and realize I'm tidying, which is a thing I often do when I'm mulling something over. Again, Fiery and Tom, please feel free to come and, tidy up whenever you feel overwhelmed. Come to my place. That's no problem. Excellent. Excellent. So this is what political awareness is all about. Thinking about the relationships outside your own team, but relationships within other stakeholders like partners, senior management, etc. Okay, and we can move on to the final layer, which is cultural awareness. Of course, cultural awareness is our ability to operate effectively in diverse and multicultural contexts. Now you know what's coming. The reflective question is, do I create a space where my team members can feel seen, respected, and able to contribute authentically? And if I do that, how do I do that? So let me ask you this question. This is your moment to share your techniques and ideas. So how do you create a space where your team feels respected and seen? I will boast a little bit about my own team. We are quite international, so I am very proud of them. I don't think I tell them very often, but we are very international, and this creates a level of empathy that is very important for our students, because they come and they see an international team and how well aware we are of the difficulties that they're going through as well. So this for me is important, that they express their cultural needs and their identity as well. And not only cultural, but it can be any background and any identity that you welcome in your teams. So how do you do it? Let's see. Okay, let me see your answers. That's brilliant. I'm just going through all of your answers, and it's absolutely incredible to see how we're all sharing our ideas and our concerns as well. This is brilliant. Lovely. Okay, and we're almost ready to move on to part 3. Excellent. Okay. Okay, so let's move on to part 3. I am going through the slides a little bit quickly because we have got in part 3 a lot of creative and practical activities that we will be doing together. So our reflection task now is, I want you to choose one of the 4 aspects of relational intelligence. Choose whichever you want. And I would like you to consider these questions. Where do we, as a team, show strength? So think about your teams. Where does your team show strength? As I said before, cultural awareness and emotional awareness is a fantastic strength of my team. Where do we have blind spots? Maybe it might be in my situation, for example, political awareness, the different relationships between our team and other teams in other schools with different partners in the city. What small shift could we take to grow in one of these areas? One thing that I can do, for example, is I can invite members of my team to shadow me, to shadow different things that I do, to ask them even to lead one of the admin meetings that we do every week. So let me know your thoughts. What small shifts could you take to grow in any of these areas? Let me see your thoughts. Of course, if you have any questions, feel free to add these in the chat as well. And let's go for it. Let's see. Okay. Just going to give a little bit of time. Just a reminder of what part 2 is all about while you're typing, I'm hoping. So part 2 is all about the connection between ghost management and relational intelligence. And relational intelligence is how we can build relationships with other people around us. And as we said, this has got nothing to do with being nice or social, but it is all about the different skills that we can develop. And by understanding the emotional, social, political, and cultural awareness of our teams. Okay. So I really like the fact that Fari is asking a question. Do you think we know where our blind spots are? I'm not sure we do. That's a very good point, Fari. Now, sometimes in our teams, we need time or we need different techniques, like different activities or surveys or meetings in order to understand how well we know our blind spots. And this is what we will be doing part 3 as well. We will be looking at different activities that can help us realize and provide our team with self-awareness. Let me have a look. So Tom, for example, says, or provide some people with additional pressure. Oh, Tom, this is a good point. Please feel free to expand. Let me know what you think. Lovely. And then Yasin says, socializing out of work might help. This is true as well. So socializing after work might be a way to understand your team and to understand how they are outside of work and compare it as well. And then I can see, Carla, I think I've missed, there you go. So Carla says, read the room and intentionally pay attention to what they're saying, and especially not saying by their body language and make signs. Fantastic. Now, the last question that I have for you is, which of these 4 aspects makes you feel confident in, curious about, and challenged by? Personally, I think, for example, that I am very curious and challenged by any political awareness within the company, within the school, because that will help me understand how things work better. And as I said, so I'm very confident in emotional and social. I think that these 3 adjectives are very important as well in order to navigate your themes. What are we confident in? What are we curious about? And what are we challenged by as well? Now, I can see that there is a fantastic conversation in the chat about Fari's point. Do we know our blind spots? And Oslam, for example, says that is why managers also need some thinking and reflection time as well. Excellent. And then Gustavo says that's why I believe we all need our own mentors. These are very, very good points. Don't forget that, as we said, one of the key aspects of ghost management is self-awareness, because this is where it all starts. Okay, and then let's move on to part 3, which is all about little activities that we can do. Now, I want you to be quick. We're going to have a look at different activities. Are you still with me? Let me see your energy levels. This is not very quiet. This is not a ghost management technique. This is an active management technique. Let's see. Fariha, thank you for saying yes. Excellent. Now, let's move on to our first task of the day. This is ghost management in action. Now, as we said, leadership is about vision and setting goals and following a direction that you set for your team, depending on your outcomes. And of course, ghost management is about creating this safe space. And we can do that, as we said, through many different layers of awareness, observing, noticing, asking good questions, etc. All of these mini activities that we're going to have a look at relate to how we can develop our ghost management techniques. So, first of all, let's look at how you can disappear strategically. So let's look at this. Now, the question that you need to ask yourself is, when am I most needed? And when am I actually in the way? I will tell you a secret, which is not a very big secret. So when I first became a manager, again, I thought that I needed to be present all the time. I needed to be there for my staff, to the extent that I was interfering with some of the managers and team members of other departments. So I was being too loud. So I needed to understand how I could disappear strategically. So this is what I would like you to consider as well. Of course, disappearing strategically doesn't mean not knowing what's happening. Of course, you can know what's happening. You can be invisible. You can observe and guide when you're needed. This will help you understand the difference between micromanagement and trusting, because this is important. The mini task that I would like to give you is this. At your next team meeting, begin without opening the discussion or sharing your input first. How can you do that? Let someone else do the leading activity, or the warm-up, or the check-in that you do in a staff meeting. And while somebody else starts the admin meeting or the one-to-one meeting, observe the dynamics, observe the language they use, observe who speaks first, who holds back. And after the meeting, take about 5 minutes to journal this, to collect your thoughts. What did I learn about the group without speaking? What happened that wouldn't have if I jumped in early? This is a very nice activity that you can do with your staff so that you can allow them the space to grow as well. In one of my previous teams, I used to let a specific member of staff always start the staff meeting themselves. It gave them a different kind of power and energy, and it boosted their confidence. Do that and let me know what happens in your teams as well. I think that is going to be very nice to see someone else take the lead as well. Thank you, Gustavo. Now, what else you can do in order to develop your ghost management techniques? So, as Carla said, I think earlier, is to read the room, to respond to the atmosphere, and not to take action immediately. The question I have for you, because remember, questions about self-reflection are very important. What systems or unspoken rules are influencing how people behave today? And let's look at this, the why and the how. So, as we said, a great manager notices and observes. So when someone is silent, when there is eye rolling, or when your team stops listening, how do they do that? What are the signs? And here's a mini activity that you can do with your teams. Now, this is something I have done with my team. It's brilliant. Not because I am presenting it, but because it has worked well with many different teams. So what you can do is you can do a role play, a basic conversation, and you can get 2 volunteers in your team to role play. One person can be very anxious and the other person can be very indifferent. And give them a task. For example, plan the Christmas party. Don't tell them what mood each of them has. See how they react. See how the rest of the team reacts. And what this will help you do is it will help you understand how people react to different emotions. This is a kind of as we said, an atmosphere role-playing activity that will allow you to understand your team a little bit better. Now, the final thing that we can do with our teams is to recognize them. We said in part 2 that we had the question, the reflective question, what do you wish people noticed about you? Do we remember that? Let me see. Any people nodding? Nobody nods? Wow. Okay, so let's have a look at this. When we either loudly or quietly acknowledge someone's growth or effort or value, it makes them feel very respected and that their effort is seen. Of course, you don't need to make a big deal out of it, but it can have a very big effect. And of course, when it comes to ghost management, you don't need to have a microphone and loudly recognize how people feel or what people have been doing. You can just give a note, a gesture, a private word. And I actually want to show you what I always have in my office. So, about a month after I started my current role as a principal, when you're a principal, you don't really get a recognition, or you don't get the thank yous that teachers get. You usually get the complaints, right? So a month after I started, some students left this little note. You probably cannot see what it says, on my desk, which says, "Wonderful manager, thanks for making things easier for us." I still don't know who left this little note, but I have kept it because it was so quietly put on my desk that it was very nice. And it showed me that, whatever happened within that month, some people saw my effort. And this is sometimes what your team needs to see as well. And here's the mini task that I have for you. That's something that I did with my team, but I must say some of my team members felt a little bit uncomfortable or awkward to do that. So we did it quite anonymously. Now, what you can do is each person can pick one teammate to observe positively over a week without telling them. At the end of the week, they can send a short, anonymous, or private thank you note. For example, "I noticed how you always kept calm, even under pressure this week. Thank you." Or you can just write something, "I really like how you dealt with this situation." The way that you can vary this activity is by asking everyone in your team to observe different people and anonymously write comments on a platform like Padlet, for instance. And then you can write some comments about everyone as well. So everyone gets a positive comment. I think this is a very nice practice that will help your teams strengthen their ability to understand how each other works. I can see Diana says, "I did this with my students at school. It was great for bonding, to be able to appreciate tiny things about others." Yes, Diana, yes, absolutely. So try this with your teams and see how it works. Now, of course, things are not always fantastic in our schools. Sometimes we need to fix things without fixing. So the question here is, when discomfort shows up in your team, do you lean in or do you leap to fix it? So what do you do? Now, of course, when discomfort comes to our team, that, of course, doesn't mean that we always have to act. So what we can do, here's a mini task, and this is, of course, a classic ELT with a twist. So what you can do is you can set up different groups, and each group receives a task. For example, do an origami together, but the instructions are incomplete. So what they will have to do is they will need to find a solution to understand what's going on or to communicate in order to fix the problem. So, for example, in an admin meeting, I gave my team an origami task. So they had to create a mini boat by paper in like 3 minutes. But of course, the instructions were incomplete. They didn't know that. And they had to communicate in order to understand what happened and to make that paper look like a boat. This is very important for you to understand how people communicate as well and how they react without you trying to fix everything as well. Okay, let's take a breather. Let me have a look at Gustavo, for example, asked about the previous activity. How do they know if they're not observing the same person? You can observe the same person, you can match people. It doesn't really matter who gets a positive comment as long as everyone gets a positive comment. And as a manager, this is where you step in and then you can write 1 or 2 comments about everyone, which will make everyone feel good anyway. Okay, and then we have got one more activity, I promise you, before we go to the questions and answers. So how can we create psychological visibility? Now, can your team feel seen by you even when you're not talking? Now, as we said before, noticing is very important, not only the results, but also the effort people put into the work. And sometimes it's very important to listen to this, like, you matter, I believe in you, even when you're struggling, even when I can see signs of distress, I trust you. And for that, what you can do is you can use the visibility bingo. So for example, you can, as a manager, you can do one of the following so that your team feels connected to you. You can smile at someone. You can praise someone for their effort. You can give them some chocolate, for instance. You can support their idea, or you can have a one-to-one with them. You can remember their birthday or give them credit in a meeting. These are little things that you can do in order to make them feel trusted. And it also helps them realize that you're here to notice them. A nice little activity that you can do with your team members as well. Okay, so final thing is that leadership is not about being seen only, but it's about seeing. And this is what ghost management is all about. It's about observing, noticing, and you can do that through many little skills that you can develop as a leader. Okay, so do we have any questions? Let's see. Oslem says, a recognition email I once sent to my team had a huge positive effect. I remember. Oslem, that's exactly it. That's fantastic. Yasin, thank you very much for your kind words. Thank you. So feel free to ask me any questions about ghost management, the different skills we can develop, and anything that you want to share as well. This is your moment. The stage is yours. Okay, let's see. At the end of every session, I remember an old professor of mine. He used to say that when you go into a classroom and you ask your class, do you have any questions? And nobody asks any questions. It's either because your students understood everything or they understood nothing at all. So I'm hoping that in this case, it's because everybody understood everything. Lovely. Diana, Chiara, Gustavo, thank you so much for your lovely words as well. And now Gustavo says, I have all of my students' birthday on my calendar. I always send them messages, even if they're not even if they're not my students anymore, they get really happy and feel extremely surprised. That's brilliant. Excellent. Fari says, I like to try to work through the team and make sure I have a coffee or glass of wine with each one each year. So we get the time and space for a quiet, informal chat. Oh, Fari, this is beautiful. Lovely. So feel free to send us your questions or comments. Carla says, for example, a couple of weeks ago, I showed up unannounced in a school event. I am a bilingual school advisor, and the families and the management had the biggest smile on their faces. The manager said, you came, this is the first time an external partner shows up. Oh my God, that goes the goosebumps. Parents were so happy. Oh, that's brilliant. Oh, that's fantastic, Carla. Thank you for sharing. This is so important. Yes, and being present is incredible. And I'm very happy you've shared this as well. Lovely. Excellent. So I do not see any questions. Thank you so much, Lucy. Lovely. Excellent. Thank you so much, everybody. And feel free to follow and share the LAMSIG webinars. I'm pretty sure that the rest of the series is going to be fantastic. It's incredible. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Georgia, for such a lovely, inspiring session today. I think it was it was wonderful to have you here today. Hopefully, we will see you more often and in other occasions as well. I hope you all enjoyed our first webinar. And as Georgia mentioned, join us the next ones. You can check our social media for the dates and the registration links and so on. So thank you everyone for joining us today. Thank you, Georgia, once again. Bye bye, everyone.